I am not really heavy into sports, except for downhill skiing, and I love the Winter Olympics. But I have something really, really exciting to share with you today. When I heard this story, I thought, wow, this is a great secret to successful weight loss. You could use this right now. You can absolutely do the same thing. So let's get to it. Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. Today is episode number 618. The topic, what Charles Barkley can teach you about successful weight loss. All right, welcome again to the JoLynn Braley Show. I am JoLynn Braley. I am the founder of the Inner Self Diet, which might sound like a different sort of name, but here is something that most have no idea about, and it is that the inner and the outer always match, which is actually a universal law. There's nothing you can do to change it, but you can change yourself. And if you were to change your mind, you would be able to easily change your body. That's what it means that the inner and the outer always match. If you want to get thin, fit, healthy, strong on the outside, and you want to be able to do it easily, without stress, without struggle, without cheating on yourself, without backsliding, without constantly craving your old binge eating foods and emotional eating foods and comfort foods. The trick is to transform your inner world so that your inner world matches the you that you want to become on the outside. That's the work that I've been doing with awesome coaching clients since 2009. It is the most successful path to real weight loss because if you want to stop struggling. On the other hand, if you're okay with yo-yo dieting, constantly struggling, then, there's all kinds of food diets out there and you can just do that. Or you can do what I'm going to teach you today. But what would be even more powerful is if you were to use this secret that I'm going to teach you today and have a weight loss mindset at the same time. Change your mind to change your body. Wow, you could really get to the place where you'd be unstoppable. What would that be like? How cool would that be? Make sure to download my free grocery list. Get it at www.grabmygrocerylist.com. Grabmygrocerylist.com for a list of the whole foods that I eat, and this is how I lost 28.6 pounds. Naturally, holistically, no drugs, nothing strange. Get my grocery list now at grabmygrocerylist.com. It's totally free to download. So what is it that Charles Barkley can teach you about weight loss? Well, this is such a cool story. I heard this recently when I was in the car driving, and I thought, wow, I need to do a podcast about this, to share this, because it makes totally perfect, absolutely fantastic sense, and it makes weight loss very, very doable, especially if you have a lot of weight to lose. Because let's face it, it can be very overwhelming. And if you don't have a weight loss mindset, and especially if you have no interest in healing the root of your overeating problems, if you have no interest in healing your emotional eating, binge eating, compulsive overeating, if you're okay with, continuing to do the food diets, and if you're okay with gaining the weight back and then losing it again, and I'm not being sarcastic. There's a lot of people that don't want to address the root of the problem. So if you're okay with all of that, then especially this tip that I'm going to give you here today, this awesome way to lose weight can really, really help you in a huge way. And it is just so simple. And like I said, especially if you have a lot of weight to lose. So what I learned about Charles Barkley's story is that back before he ever got into professional basketball, so I think this was back in the 1980s, he was overweight. He was 80 pounds overweight. And he had talent, but he was too big. He needed to drop weight in order to really become the star that he ended up becoming. And he was very lucky because he had a coach. Now, see, coaching is the fastest way to get from where you are to where you want to be, especially when you have a coach who helps you empower yourself, but stay accountable and stay on track. It's just so easy to lie to yourself, to tell yourself that, oh, well, you know what? I think I'm just going to make some cupcakes and it's not going to really put me that far behind in my weight loss goals. And, I deserve a treat. And then before you know it, another 3 months has gone by. You lost no weight. In fact, you regained the 10 pounds that you had previously lost. And you just flounder, you flip and flop and flounder all about because you don't have professional support, you don't have a coach, and you definitely don't have a weight loss mindset. So as far as what happened with Charles Barkley, he was very fortunate because a man, Moses Malone, coached him to get that weight off. And you know what he did? He did not tell Charles, I want you to lose 80 pounds. What Moses did, is he told Charles, you're overweight, you're too big. He actually told him that he was too fat and too lazy. So he was real with him. And that's great because Charles probably never would have really gotten to where he ended up getting without Moses telling him the truth. So Moses Malone told Charles, you're not going to make it, you're fat and lazy, and you're going to have to change if you want to really get somewhere with this. So he had 80 pounds he needed to lose, but Moses Malone did not tell him, I want you to lose 80 pounds. Instead, he told him, I want you to lose 10 pounds. 10 pounds. So here's the big trick, which is so workable and so doable, and it makes weight loss, especially again, if you have 80 pounds to lose, that's a lot of weight, and that is going to take quite a bit of time. Keeping in mind also, men have an easier time releasing the fat because they don't have as much fat padding on their bodies because they don't give birth to babies. So for you, being a smart, successful, spiritual woman who already knows what you could be doing to lose the weight, but you haven't been doing it, remember, a weight loss mindset is 92.8% of what is going to give you struggle-free success with your whole weight loss journey. And if you release 1 to 2 pounds of fat per week, if you can get 2 pounds off per week, that's fantastic. But if you were to have 80 pounds to drop, you're looking at least 40 weeks, possibly, probably longer, because sometimes the body reaches a plateau and you might not drop fat for a couple weeks. But 40 weeks is the math if you drop 2 pounds every single week. So, that's going to require patience, consistency. It's all going to depend on your mindset. It's so easy to quit. It's so easy to go back to your old ways. It's so easy to keep eating all of those addictive processed foods that keep you in the struggle and just keep you on that hamster wheel where you never really make progress. You might think that you're doing something, but the scale shows otherwise and your clothing shows otherwise. So anyway, with Charles, he was determined to succeed with his basketball dreams. And Moses Malone had told him that wasn't going to happen unless he got that weight off. So he dropped 10 pounds. And then you know what Moses told him? He said, okay, now this is great. Celebrate, not with food, right? We're not going out to McDonald's to celebrate with food, but giving him encouragement, giving him the support that he needed to keep going. And then Moses said, now I want you to drop another 10. And that was the process to get those whole 80 pounds off. 10, and then another 10, and then another 10. So the point is, break your weight loss goal down into these smaller segments. Celebrate each milestone, not with food, because that's only going to set you back. You have to find another way to celebrate. You've got to have the right mindset to do this. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe and know that you are worth it, that you are worth the time and the effort to do all of this. And you have to stick with it for the long haul. But if you break your goal down into these smaller steps, it is just so much more manageable. And again, if you've got a weight loss mindset to go along with it, then you're golden. So isn't this awesome? I just love this. This is how Charles Barkley got an entire 80 pounds off. 10 pounds at a time. But you got to start. And you have to get that first 10 off before you have the next step, which is getting another 10 off. And then there's the next 10. You know, of course, obviously, depending on how overweight you are. Unfortunately, nowadays there are more and more and more and more cases of obesity, 100 pounds or more overweight. And it's easy to get there because if you're using food, if you're eating because you're unhappy, but then you're unhappy because of your weight, and then you eat more food because you're unhappy, and then you're unhappy because you're eating so much, and you're unhappy about how you look, you're unhappy about your weight, and then you go eat more food to try to feel better, but that just keeps the whole cycle going. You can stay in that forever, and it can be very, very debilitating for your mindset, for your peace of mind, for your self-esteem, for your self-worth. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good mentally, emotionally, or physically. The human body is not supposed to be carrying around a whole load of extra weight. It's too much for the heart. What about your knees? What about your tendons, your joints? I mean, it's a lot. Even 10 pounds, though, if you can just get that first 10 pounds off, that's a lot of weight. Here's a way to really get real about it and feel it. And it's so simple. You just go to the grocery store, pick up a 10-pound bag of potatoes, and carry that around the store for 15 minutes. It's heavy. It is heavy. So the point being that is 10 pounds of extra weight that your body is having to lug around if you're carrying at least 10 pounds of extra weight, which I'm going to guess that you probably are since you are listening to this free weight loss podcast episode here on the JoLynn Braley Show. Although I have had coaching clients over the years since I've been coaching since 2009. I mean, I've had clients who were as little as 4 pounds overweight, and then I've had clients who were as much as 100 pounds overweight. And you know what's interesting is because 92.8% of this is what's going on right between your own two ears, the woman who is 4 pounds overweight can sometimes be in more stress and frustration than the one who is 100 pounds overweight. Oftentimes, unfortunately, the one who's 100 pounds overweight, they have been struggling with all of that weight, and it's pretty much beaten them down so far that unfortunately a lot of them give up and they just say, oh, I'm just gonna, this is how it is. The one who is 4 pounds overweight still has hope. And that's what you never want to get to that place, if you can avoid it, where you lose your hope that you can change, because you are the only one who can take action to change. Coaching is going to help you get out of that place faster than you ever can on your own, because none of us can see our own blind spots. Even with a coach, though, you are the one who has to show up for yourself and take the action and do the work. But it's just, gosh, how much easier is it when you have a professional coach in your corner who can help you navigate out of the boulders and the blind spots that will hold you down and hold you back and just keep you on that hamster wheel. You know what I mean? And you can take action immediately with the same thing that Charles Barkley did to lose 80 pounds all the way back in the 1980s. You can just set a goal for 10 pounds. Or if it's easier, set a goal for 5 pounds. Get the first 5 pounds off, and then another 5, and then another 5. But you want to keep it going. Otherwise, how will you ever get to your end goal, right? I understand how easy it is to cheat on yourself and sabotage yourself. And this is all going to come back. 92.8% of it is your own mindset. It's how you think about yourself, how you think about your ability to get to your goal weight, what you believe. 7.2% of it definitely is the food. You absolutely have to get off of that highly processed food because it is so addictive and it can set you up for failure. But that part is the easiest part to take care of because you only need to be eating clean for 3 days to get most of that chemical pull out of your system. Give it a full 2 weeks and you should be just, in a great place with your healthy eating. But then can you even get through 3 days of eating clean? And if you don't know what I mean by eating clean, do get my grocery list, www.grabmygrocerylist.com, to see a list of the whole foods that I eat and ate to drop 28.6 pounds. If you want to go further than just getting information, hearing my free weight loss podcast, trying to lose 10 pounds on your own, and then another 10, and then another 10. If you've been battling this a lifetime, if you know that you need help, it can be hard to admit that, especially if you're used to telling yourself that you can do everything on your own. But if you could do everything on your own, then wouldn't you have already healed the root of your unhealthy eating behaviors? Wouldn't you already be free of this stuff? Wouldn't you already be at your goal weight? Wouldn't you already be problem free with this whole topic? If you could do it on your own, why not? Because you already know what you should be doing, right? But you're not doing it. And some will say, oh, it's because I'm not motivated. Well, where does that come from? What is it that is stopping you? And do you want to get out of your own way? If you really want to break free and if you want help, go over to www.discovery-session.com, discovery-session.com. Apply for a complimentary one-on-one weight loss discovery session with me. This is your first step towards freedom from the struggle. But this is only for you if you really are serious about getting out of that place where you never really end up getting anywhere. You might get a little bit of success, but then you backslide. You know you've got a problem, but it's not changing. if you really want to break free, then definitely apply for this complimentary one-on-one weight loss discovery session. But it's not for you if you just want to say hi or you just want to collect more information, because how does information ever lead to transformation? How does that work? Look at all of the information that is out there. How could there ever be enough information to make a difference? If you don't have enough information already, when will you ever have enough info to see results? So I'm in the business of helping my coaching clients get results if they really are willing to commit to themselves and do something new and different. Get a weight loss mindset, change your mind, and then you'll be able to change your body without the stress and without the struggle, without the strife, without the self-sabotage. How cool would that be? Take action now. Do not give up on yourself. You really can change if you really want to. I'm JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the Inner Self Diet, the diet that lines you up with the body that you want on the outside by becoming a match to that on the inside. Remember, the inner and the outer always match. I wish you your best life living inside of your ideal body.